What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that is the most important thing you can do with me on this channel. What it does is that it helps to make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get their notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And yes, that does help to give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news, because today we are headed back to the border. We're headed back to the border to talk about this migrant crisis. But before we get too deep into it and talk about the caravan of 3,000 illegal immigrants that are headed to the United States border right now in fear of a possible Trump victory, to which the border would be, for the most part, closed, I want to address this first. Currently, as we speak right now, Democrats are working overtime to dispel the image of Kamala Harris being the border czar, right? Technically, Kamala Harris was not given the position of the border czar because there is no position of border czar that exists, technically speaking, right? And that's what they're running with. They're running on a hyper technicality that those who are anti-illegal immigration are spreading misinformation referring to Kamala Harris by a position that she doesn't actually hold because there is no border czar. But once again, that's just spin. It's foolishness. It's nonsense. Because, I mean, come on, man. You know, these articles are right here on the internet. We can all see them for ourselves. Here's an article from Reuters, March 24th, 2021. Biden names Harris to lead efforts with Mexico, Central America to stem migrant flow. I repeat, Biden names Harris to lead efforts with Mexico and Central America to stem migrant flow. Here's another article here from NBC News, which reads, Biden tasked Harris with stemming the migration on the southern border. We have another article here. I can literally go on and on for the entire day doing this, from the Associated Press. This was also in March of 2021. Biden taps VP Harris to lead response to border challenges. So when we say that the migrant crisis is due to Kamala Harris's miserable failure at managing the border, that is a factual statement, because that is the position that Biden appointed her to. And you see that here represented through all the articles that we just went through. Now, with that being said, let's get into the actual information that I want to discuss concerning the migrant caravan of 3,000 illegal immigrants that are headed to the United States border. But you know what? Before I forget, I don't want to forget this piece of information as well. Let's go back to the fact that the migrant crisis is due to Kamala Harris's failure at the border because Joe Biden put her in charge of the border. I always state that this was a man-made migrant crisis by Biden and Harris. And this information that I'm going to go through here first really highlights that. As it states here in this article, last two Border Patrol chiefs say Harris has not spoken with them. Imagine that. The last two Border Patrol chiefs, the guys that are heading the border, they haven't spoke with the unofficial border czar. Technically, she's not the border czar, technically speaking, but unofficially she is, because once again, Biden taps VP Harris to lead a response to border challenges. And she hasn't even spoken with the last two border chiefs. The highlighted portion here reads, or I should say the bullet point to read, Harris chosen by Biden to lead administration's border efforts, VP tasked with overseeing issues in El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, and most importantly, the solutions will not be achieved overnight, Harris said in 2021. It's funny she said that, because not only were the solutions not achieved overnight, the solutions were never achieved at all, because they were never supposed to be achieved, because the migrant crisis is man-made and it was done intentionally. Let's get into this portion here, and I want to zoom in just a little bit more so you can all follow along with me and read this with me. Border Patrol Chief Jason Owens says Vice President Kamala Harris has not spoken with him since he was appointed in July of 2023. President Joe Biden tapped Harris to lead his administration's border effort in March of 2021. This is a factual statement. She made trips to some South American countries in the following months to plead with people not to make the dangerous trip to the United States. But she has not been visible in the years since as the problem ballooned. The reality is this: Biden appointed her as the unofficial border czar, that unofficial position of the border czar, right? She did a few symbolic trips in South America just so she can technically say, I tried. She can technically say, well, I did my job and I went down there and it just didn't work. But the reality is this: the fact that she has been inactive since then concerning the border issues says all that you need to know in terms of this being a man-made crisis by Biden and Harris, particularly Harris, since once again, I have to keep reiterating, Biden tapped VP Harris to lead the response to border challenges, right? Now let's get into this portion right here. Retired Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz told CBS in March he also never spoke with Harris during his tenure from August 2021 through June of 2023. Let's stop here and let's unpack this, and then we're going to go to the Caravan news. Kamala Harris was tapped by President Biden to lead the response to border challenges. She was in charge of the border. That was in March of 2021. The retired Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz told CBS that throughout his entire time as the Border Patrol Chief, from August of 2021 to June of 2023, he never spoke with Harris, not one time. And then his successor, the one that took over his position, Jason Owens, says that he hasn't heard or spoken with Kamala Harris since he was appointed to the position of Border Patrol Chief on July 2023, a month after Raul Ortiz retired. That's the present day. From 2023 up until this point, he has not spoken with her. What does that tell you? It clearly shows that the moment she was appointed as the unofficial border czar, she never had any intentions on doing anything surrounding securing the border. Because from August 2021 up until the present day, we have gone through two Border Patrol chiefs who she has never spoken to. That means the entire time that Harris has been in office, she never once made an attempt to speak to these men, because there was never once any type of serious effort made to secure the borders. This was a man-made migrant crisis. It's very obvious and it's clear as day. And because of that, now what we have is a rush to the border. We have a rush to the border now by illegal immigrants who are trying to hurry up and get here before Trump gets into office, if he gets into office. This article reads here: caravan of 3,000 migrants, illegal immigrants, hope to cross southern border into the U.S. before possible Trump win. And the article reads as such: about 3,000 migrants, illegal immigrants, were on their way to the U.S. southern border by foot on Sunday, as some made clear they wanted to reach the country before November's election and a possible Donald Trump victory. We've discussed numerous times on this channel, the folks south of the border, they are just as informed of American politics as you and I are here, if not more informed. They know precisely what's going on, and they know that Harris and the Democrat Party is the party of illegal immigration and open borders. They understand this to be true, and that's why they are rushing to the border now by the thousands to get in before a possible Trump victory. The article continues to read: the caravan of potential border crossers from a dozen Latin American nations embarked on the trip from Mexico's southern border in hopes of seeking asylum in the U.S. before Trump could harden the border if he wins the White House for a second term. Like I said, these folks pay more attention to US politics than we do. And that's a sad thing. Trump and his pick for vice president, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, have both vowed to crack down on migrant crossing if they win the White House. And this is why we're now seeing a mad rush and a mad scramble to the border. We're seeing a mad rush and a mad scramble to the border now, and it's only going to pick up and get worse because these folks south of the border are terrified of a Trump victory. If Trump and Vance win, the gravy train is over. If Trump and Vance win, the border will effectively be closed essentially, and this migrant crisis will end instantly. And they will be forced to figure things out in their home country. And they don't want to do that. They want to come over here, head on over to New York City, head on over to Chicago, where they'll be placed in 5-star hotels. They'll be placed with housing, everything paid for, everything free, all type of cash cards, whatever they want, and get a new fresh start on life, a fresh start that U.S. citizens don't get. We don't get to hit the reset button on our life here. We have to jump through all types of hoops and hurdles and, falsified documents, if you want to get some sort of, money from the government to, make it seem like, hey, man, I need help. I'm struggling bad. I need a fresh start. And even with that, even with the, general assistance and unemployment and stuff like that, that's not a fresh start like these folks get a fresh start. These folks are getting cash cards, placed in 5-star hotel, free housing up to 6 months, if not longer, all type of stipends, and they're living in beautiful apartment complexes. Meanwhile, you and I are struggling to pay the mortgage, buy the groceries, and put gas in the car. But yeah, here is 2024. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. Please hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Also, don't forget to share this video out on your social media platforms as well to your family and friends. Follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. And also don't forget to follow me on Rumble at TD Media Group as well. All the links will be in the description box below, as well as pinned in the comment section. Thank you all for your time. And until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.